blind 75 problems, at least in a couple of sessions. I don't know how I'll do it. I do not have a concrete plan, but while I'm solving the problems, I'll try to explain it as much as possible. And if someone wants to join along in my journey, please welcome, and you can post the comments in the chat, and I'll make sure to reply those or address those. And be interactive, follow along, or you can look into it at your own convenient time. Let's start this one. So the way I'm thinking is, I'll I'll start with the problem. I'll explain it. I'll try to think about it. I'll time it. If I can get to the solution, it's fine. I'll explain what my approach is. If I couldn't get to the solution, then I'll look into the solution and explain what the approach defined there. I hope that works. And I'll pick the problems randomly, or I'll sort it in some order. But the main goal is I need to be able to complete it within a couple of days or 3 days, maybe at most. And I'm not new to LeetCoding, so I hope it's possible. So that's why I named it as Eat, Sleep, Code, Repeat. So that this is my priority in the next couple of days, nothing else. And I have the timer mentioned here, and I have a whiteboard wherever I need to explain. I'll try to refer this one. Also have posted one of the link for the list of problems that I'll be solving, and I have tagged the blind 75 list as well. So without further wasting time, let's get started, and let's try to get this one out. Let's be productive. Yeah. Let me post a couple of comments that I need to in the channel here. For some reason, I'm not able to see the comments. Okay, I'm looking into the live now, and I do not see the comment screen on my YouTube studio. So yeah, that would make it hard if I cannot view the comments if someone joins in. Okay, I'll see if I can handle it with my phone. I'll keep my phone handy so that I can reply to the comments as and when, if it comes up. Okay, it hasn't showed up in my phone screen yet. I hope I'm live. Yeah, looks like I'm live, at least from here. Let me check in my channel. Studio has some trouble today. Okay, it shows that I'm live here. Okay. I'll be monitoring the messages here if I cannot connect in my desktop. Let's start with the first problem then. Let me sort it in a specific order here. Let's sort it in the order of frequency. From high to low. Okay, to sum. This is the basic question. This is like a hello world of LeetCoding, and I have some answer mentioned there already. So let's have the timer on as well. And yeah, for every problem, let's allocate 30 minutes. It's okay if some problems are complex and if we get above it, but otherwise we should solve it in 30 minutes. So yeah, to sum, we should be solving it less than 10 minutes. So what I'm doing is I'll iterate through a list of given array integers nums and an integer target. So an integer array is given and the target is given. Return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to the target. Any two numbers, if they add up to the target, I need to return the index of those two numbers. You may assume each input would have exactly one solution. Okay. So in this case, what I need to do is I'm thinking of because I have solved this problem before. So I remember that we can use a hash map, and then while I'll iterate through this list, and while going, I'll be adding the first element. I'll initiate a hash map which will be empty in the beginning, and I'll start iterating through this list. And once I get to 2, I'll see if the hash map has a complement value for this one. So complement value is nothing but 9 minus current value, so 7. Hash map doesn't have a 7 when I came to 2 because I haven't iterated to 7 yet. And then I'll add 2 to the hash map. And then I came here to the next element, which is 7. And then I see what's the complement here. So 9 minus 7, 2. I'll check in the hash map if 2 exists. 2, I had already added 2. So, and I would have stored the index also corresponding to that. Then, okay, I see a match there. These two numbers can add up to 9, and then I'll return the indices of that. It's as simple as that. Let's start coding. So map of integer, and then what we can do this one, complements map. We can call this as complement map, and I'll make it as a hash map. And then what's the next thing that we need to do? We want to iterate through that nums array. So I'll iterate through that nums array. And then I need to check if the complement exists or not. What's the complement value here? Complement value is target minus num. Okay, and also I need the index also. It's easier to use this one, this type of for loop in order to track the index. I less than. So I switched to this for loop syntax because I needed to get hold of the index. So target minus nums of I here in this case. And then if complements map dot contains key, if that contains the complement, then what should we do? We can return it. That's the unique answer. Return new int of answer. It's supposed to be returned in the integer array format. So new int of the current index. Current index is the element with the current index, and how to get the index of the complement. Index of the complement, we would store it in the complements map dot get complement value. So I'll get the index of that one. And how did this get here? How did the index of the complement get here? I haven't coded that yet. If let's say if complement is not found, then I'll add to that index map or complements map. So the current value is nums of I, and then its index. I need to add I as well. And after the entire for loop, if the value is not found, then I can just return an empty array. Okay, so here let's check this one once. Okay, it looks like it works. Okay, it works. So if someone who hasn't, for someone who hasn't understood this, I think we took four minutes with by reading the question and this one. So given an array of integers, so array of integers is given, and then a target value is given 9. So what I'm doing is I just initiated a hash map here, complements map, and then I'm iterating through the array or the input array that was given one by one, and what's the complement that I need to find here. So the first element, when I came to the first element 2, I do not know about the rest of the numbers. I'm still in the first element. The complement that I need is a 7. What I'm doing here, instead of going through the array, what I'm doing is I'll see in the complements map. In the map, if the complement exists, then I'll return the answer then and there. But the complement map is still initiated and it's still empty, so I wouldn't find that value here. So what I'll do is, to the complement map I'll add 2, and index of 2 is 0, and I'll come to the next number, I is equal to 1, and complement is equal to target minus nums of I. Nums of 1 is 7, so 9 minus 7, 2. Complement is 2. So now I'm checking in the complements map whether 2 exists. Yes, it does. So I'll return the index, current index, and the index of 2. Index of 2 is get by complements map dot get complement. So I returned here. In case if there is no matches like that, after iterating through the entire array, I'm just returning an empty array. That wouldn't happen because they have asked us to assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. So that's about it. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. If anybody joins in, feel free to just drop a message or say hi in the chat so that I would know that, okay, who is watching, and also make sure to ask any questions that you have, or if I have to repeat any point, I can do that as well. Okay, next question, valid parenthesis. Let's track this one in the sheet that I shared as well. And that is problem number 1 in LeetCode. That is something that says something. Okay, so now second problem. Second problem we are solving is valid parenthesis. That is in LeetCode, it's problem number 20, LeetCode 20. Okay, let's see. Given a string S containing just characters, open braces, close braces, open curly braces, close curly braces, and open this square braces, brackets, and closing that. Determine if the input string is valid or not. An input string is valid if open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. Okay, open brackets must be closed in the correct order. Every closed bracket has corresponding open bracket of the same type. Okay, makes sense. So now here you see this is a valid type, and open and close, this is valid type, this is valid type, like open and close. And then there can be nesting as well here. This is the case that we need to consider. This is valid type, but this is not valid because there is no corresponding closing braces here. So here what we need to think is, as soon as we come across such problems, it basically signifies the order in which the opening and closing happens. Whenever there is like redo, undo, or the opening, closing, these kind of things we need to track. We usually think about, it's natural to think about the stack data structure. So I have added it here, but uh, either me or my wife might have coded that solution, but let's see. If not this one, let's add. We can write the code now. So I was telling, whenever we come across these situations like where redo and undo is there, or or the case where there is like last in and first out. Here, last in, first out, right? In this one, last in was this opening braces, first out was that particular braces. Like in this example, we will know better. So first we uh, open this type of braces, and then we open this flower bracket or whatever it is, square bracket, and then like I wouldn't look for closing this type of bracket, or this is not curly brackets, I guess. So I wouldn't look for this closing this bracket, but I would look for closing the square bracket first. So whatever went last, that has to come out first. So, and once I'm closing this one, I look for closing the next recent one. So that's why I'm going with stack. That's what prompted me to go with stack. Let's see. Let's go with the implementation now. I'm initiating a stack, and I'll be adding a, I think character should be enough to just maintain the braces there. Okay, once that is done, what can we do is we have the string, so we can keep looping throughout the string. So how to do that? So yeah, I think we don't need any indices or anything, so we can just loop through the string dot to char array. You can convert it into char array and loop through that. Yeah, once it is done, I'm looping through that. Now what I'm looking for, if okay, like for me, I need a differentiation of opening braces and closing braces. If there is a opening braces, then I'll add it to the stack. If there is a closing braces, then I'll look if there was a corresponding opening braces in the stack already existing. So I need to differentiate that. So what I'll do is I'll initiate a set here. Set what do I call this? Okay, this is also character type. This will hold the values of character type. Open braces. Okay, we got to new hash set. Why I'm taking hash set, I'll explain in a bit. And then I hope the syntax would work for this one. So now I need to check if the current character is one of the opening braces or not. If not opening braces, it will be closing braces as per the condition they have given here. It would be either of these characters. So if not opening braces, it will be closing braces. But I need to check if it was one of the opening braces. So I'll check is I used hash set because I can check in the hash set if a um, character exists or not. I have just populated it with all the opening braces. So I'll check if the current character is one of these braces. So what I'll do is if open braces dot contains the current character, then what I'll do, I'll go ahead and add it to the braces stack. Braces stack dot push current. If it's not in the opening braces, then what I'll do, I'll pop out of the stack and I'll have to check if it is okay. So if the like I need to manage the corresponding braces also. So if the like for this closing braces, I would make sure this is the corresponding opening braces, and for this closing curly braces, I need to make sure this is the corresponding opening one. Same with the square brackets as well. So Now I'm rethinking my choice here. I had taken open braces as a set of character in hash set. I would need a map, hash map as well. So what I'll do is string map closing to or braces map. I'll just mention it as braces pair map, new hash map, and I will be initiating the value of that braces pair dot put here. Okay, instead of string, I'll make it as character type, character, and I would need to key and value both types. For closing, I will add the corresponding opening. Okay, I'll do the same thing for the other two as well. I'm pretty sure there is a, okay, for closing here also. I'll add the corresponding opening braces, and I did the same thing here. So yeah, I think there is something like maps dot values or something. Okay, stop giving the hint or the autocomplete. Yeah, with some syntax, I can just initiate the entire hash map with this one. But I don't recall that. But let's see after the solution. So braces stack dot push current. Once this one is done, contains key current. Yeah, if it is one of the closing braces, then what should I do? If it's one of the closing braces, then I will just what will I do? I will just add it to the, I'll just check it in the braces pair. Braces pair. Okay, first thing is I need to get the top of the stack or pop the top of the stack. So in previous open is equal to braces stack dot pop. This was the previous braces which was open, and then previous unbalanced, or yeah, previous open is fine, or previous unbalanced also should be fine. Previous unbalanced braces, because even if it's previous balanced, previous open, if it is closed already, that is not the previous open. I would have already got past that one. This is the previous unbalanced, and I will check if the current current one I opened, braces pair dot get of current character equal to the previous unbalanced. Then I will return, I won't do anything. Or if it's not equal to previous current balanced, then I'll just return false then and there. If it all goes through like without getting this condition, like okay, I took the previous balanced and every time it was equal to the corresponding pair that I was looking for, and then if it all goes through, what I need to check, I need to check if the braces stack is empty or not at the end. If it is empty, then I'll just send it. So return braces. Why I'm checking if it's empty? Because there can be additional braces which are already open. So if it is empty, then I'll return true. If it is not empty, then I'll return false. And then okay, this could be a overkill here. So what I can do is what if I do this? Open braces is equal to braces pair dot values. Okay, let's see. We can try to run. Okay, this wouldn't work. Braces pair dot values is returns collection of character, which cannot be simplified as a set of characters. So what I can do is new hash set and then I will add this as a parameter to that one. Let's see if that works. Okay, that works. Okay, what I did is I initiated this one, and this pair open braces is in the value section of this hash map. So I just initiated with all the values of that braces pair hash map. And then here I'm iterating, I initiated the stack as well, braces stack. And then here I'm iterating through one by one characters of this string by converting the string to char array. And then I'm checking if the current character is one of the open braces. If it is one of the open braces, then I'm just pushing it to the stack. And if it's not open braces, that means it's one of the closed braces as the condition. So if it is one of the closing braces, then what I'm checking is the previous unbalanced open braces in the stack is whatever is that. I'm popping that out of the stack and I'm storing that here. And then I'm checking for the current character or the current closing braces, what is the corresponding opening braces. If that is equal to the previous unbalanced one, then I'm okay. But if that is not equal, then I'm just returning false there. So let's say this example, first iteration I came, it was an opening braces, and then I just pushed it to the stack. And then I came back here, and then the next character is this closing braces. So this condition doesn't satisfy. This condition I came, and then the previous unbalanced is equal to, I pop out this one, first character that I had added into the stack. And then I'm checking in the hash map, hash map.get of current is this one, current character. For that, if I get, it will be the opening braces, and I'm checking if that is the previous unbalanced one. Yes. So this condition wouldn't satisfy, so nothing will happen. I'll go out, and then only two characters I iterated, and then I'm checking if the braces stack is empty or not. If it's empty, then I'm good. I'm just returning it as true. If it's not empty, then I'm returning it as false. In this case, the closing braces came, but the opening braces doesn't match with that here. The previous unbalanced is this one, but whatever the braces pair.get current would return this one, this open. So it wouldn't satisfy. I'll return false here. And then there could be examples like something like, what if there is something, okay, what if there is something like this. So I have open braces, I just add it to the stack, and then I have one more open braces, I'll add that also to the stack. I have closed braces, and then I'll pop out one of them from the stack, and then it matches, I don't return false, and then I'm done with all the characters. So I come out. So everything satisfied, but there is still one more value in the stack. That's the reason I'm checking if the braces stack is empty or not. If it is empty, then only I'm returning it as true. So in this case, the stack would still contain one of the braces open, which is unbalanced. So I'm returning it as false. That's it about this problem. Let's try submitting it and check. Okay, there is an empty stack exception. Okay, this is because what if the first character itself is a closing braces? So if the first character itself is closing braces, maybe, yeah, first character itself is closing braces, this is the solution. I'm trying to pop from that braces stack. So what I'll do is braces stack dot is empty. Then I'll just return it as, okay, and also I'm holding it as int. Let's convert it to char, and I'll make it as null. Okay, I think this should work. Let's see. If it is empty, null, otherwise braces dot pop. Okay. And then for this character, I think I can add this test case as well and run it. It says null pointer exception because Previous unbalanced is null. Why does this say? It is empty means null. Previous unbalanced character is null. Instead of null, what I can do is I can just do this one, that to empty character literal. That wouldn't work. Okay, let's do this one. If braces is empty, or if it is empty also, then I can return false. Or braces pair dot get off, then I can just do pop here is not equal to this one, then I'll return it as false. Then I don't have to have this intermediate character altogether. Okay, so that satisfies. Let's remove this comment as well. Okay, it works. So now let's look at the solution if there is a cleaner or smaller version of the code as well. Okay, there is a hash map character by character, and they have held it as the same thing, and then they have taken a stack. That stack is taken, and they are iterating through the loop. Current character is equal to s dot caret I, and then this dot mappings dot contains key. See, then top element is equal to stack dot pop. Okay, it is okay. I understand this. This one looks one step better because they don't need another hash set here. What they are doing is just, yeah. So here, rather than open braces contains, I can just keep it as what? Okay, yeah, let's keep it as the open combination or pair of opening braces and closing braces. Okay, so now this one is done. Braces stack. I need the braces stack here. Rather than open braces dot contains, I'll just do braces pair dot contains key. If that contains the key as opening braces, then I'll just push it to the stack. If it doesn't contain the key, what I'll do is I'll check if the braces stack is empty, then I'll return false. If braces stack is not empty, then I'll have to check braces pair dot get. So this one wouldn't work because the current character is not in the key list of this one. Braces pair of get the get of this one. What I'll do is I'll get with the previous character in this one. Then if that is equal to current, that is not equal to current, then I'll return false. This should work. Yeah. So we reduced the necessity for one more additional set just to check something. So here I'm just checking if the braces pair dot get. So I pop from the stack, and then I'm checking if the corresponding value is equal to the current element. If it is not, then I'm returning it as false. If it is true, then I won't do anything. I'll check the next character. That's it. So I hope everybody understood this, and I don't see any comments or any questions about it. Please do post if you have any questions. These are easy problems, like we are still getting warmed up. I think this is also LeetCode easy, and previous one was also LeetCode easy. So next one is a LeetCode medium. Mediums are the most frequently asked questions in most, like almost all the FAANG interviews. And if someone's like, I'm not like hyping FAANG interviews or anything here. At this point of time, like I see that most of the interviews are FAANG level only, or most of the companies are at FAANG level only. So it's hard to differentiate. I mean, all the big companies are laying off and the small companies are hiring. There is some AI revolution happening. The job market is transitioning a bit. So uh, it's not like FAANG companies are at some top tier and other ones are bottom. There is some fine work going on at non-FAANG companies as well. So let's practice keeping those things in mind as well. So irrespective, these coding problems are our coding fluency will come in handy for everything. So let's keep grinding here. So number of islands. I think I already added this one into my LeetCode marathon. Yes. So next thing is next number of islands. We got to a medium problem. Let's reference that also in the. I think we are good with only the problem number. I guess we don't need the link or anything. Or do we need it? Need the link? If everybody can search with that LeetCode problem number. Let's see here. This one also. Okay, so it's going good. If someone wants to follow along what we are doing, which problems we are solving, I'm just I want to post a link, but my live streaming chat hasn't got updated yet. Let me recheck once again. Yeah, it says something went wrong. I'm still not able to connect it here. Let me see if there is some other way where I can post it as one of the comment. Okay. Okay, I got here. Okay, Saddam is here. I see some people solve this problem with just stack, but I think the way you solved using stack and hash map is more efficient time complexity. Right. Okay. Saddam, I'm able to see your question now. Let's look into that one once again. If we are able to solve it using only stack. So if we want to solve it using only stack, even that is possible. But here, like we need some kind of reference. Like then we need to hard code basically for this opening braces, the corresponding one is this one, or for this opening braces, the corresponding closing braces is this character. We need to check that one manually. If the character is this, then make sure the closing braces is this one. We can hard code that since the number of possibilities is only 3 here, but that won't be an elegant solution. Like when you are interviewing for a senior engineer role, or actually when you are coding in real time also, it's not kind of recommended to hard code at all the places in your code. Even when I wanted to just maintain 3 opening braces also, I took a hash and then I was just checking dot contains key, mainly because in future, let's say there is another type of braces that we need to add, or another type of combination that we need to add, then rather than changing in the code, I can just add that entry into this one. It's basically like a configurable code here. This one, it's easy for the one who is making the change because all these things are in one place. And also it's easy for the one who is uh, reviewing the code as well. It will be cleaner. It's just like adding one more combination. So yeah, let's go. Thanks Adam for asking the question. I hope this one is clear. Let's move to the next problem then. Okay, number of islands. So in the number of islands, let's see. And please follow along and also try to solve it on your own as well. If you want me to quiet down when I'm thinking, I can do that as well. Even that way, it is very productive. We can just like set a timer for 10 minutes for think of the solution by ourselves or code it by ourselves, and then we can discuss as well. Let me know which one works better for you. Okay, let's see number of islands here. Given m cross n 2D binary grid, which represents a map of one's land, one represents a land, and zero represents a water. Return the number of islands. Okay, I haven't solved this one. Return the number of islands. An island is surrounded by water and is formed by connecting adjacent lands horizontally or vertically. You may assume all four edges of the grid are all surrounded by water. Okay. So 10 minutes is good with me. Okay. Okay, Sadam, let's configure the timer also, and then stay focused, or I don't know if I can add one more here. Okay, let's add the stay focused thing as 10 minutes, and then we can get to this one. So for this problem already it started, the timer already started. Let me mute it until then, and then uh, I'll talk about it or explain the solution or what I was thinking. And make sure to solve it on your own in that 10 minutes time. Okay, currently we were solving the problem number of islands. So what we are doing is, for every problem that we try to tackle, we are giving each other or all of us 10 minutes to think about the solution or come up with the solution. And then we will discuss it as a group. Like if you have got it on your own, that's good, well and good. We can compare each other's solution. And if not, yeah, we can learn from whatever I'll explain. If I too don't get it, then I'll try to look into the solution and explain it. So, uh, so for now, this number of islands. Sadam, are you ready? I think I'll start coding, but yeah, I do not have to talk about it yet. I can start talking after next 3 minutes. So here, okay, I'm kind of so much used to keep talking when I code. Even during the interviews, that would be the case. Okay, you're not able to come up with the code, but at least I tried my best in the thinking process to which pattern I may match the problem. Yeah, that's good actually. That's the exercise I think we need to do. Everybody, everybody who has mastered LeetCode or working at FAANG, everybody would have that phase when they start it. Uh, but yeah, like now when you see this problem, what does it look like? This looks like a graph, right? Like naturally, it looks like a graph like let me show that example properly. Naturally it looks like a graph. They are talking about the water. Once represents the water and zero, sorry, once represents the land and zeros represents the water here. So how can we solve it? So we need to figure out the number of islands. Now, what are islands? Islands means the land mass in between the water, and how many islands are there here. That's the thing that we need to figure out. So here they have outputted it as 1, because here, let's see, let's try to start from this land mass. So we know that this is the land mass, and they have asked us to assume that everything beside it is water. So beyond this is water. So this is 1. So this is a landmass, but this is not the landmass alone. It's not covered with water or anything. So this is not an island. So this landmass extends to the next one also, and next one also. We know that. And this is water. But the same landmass extends to here as well, because these things are connected. And this same landmass is extending to this one. And this same landmass is extending to this one. So this entire thing are entire all the ones are basically connected to each other. That's why it just makes it as a single landmass. But zeros are zeros. We do not have to bother. That represents water, and we do not have to count that. And here in this case, so this is only one island. In this example, in the second example, let's see. We have a one here. Let's start from here. Okay, this is connected. This is connected. This is connected. But this diagonal opposite is not connected. They have told only in the problem definition. What's the definition of connected? Water is connected by adjacent lands horizontally and vertically, not diagonally. So this one is not connected, but this this one is connected to this. This one is connected to this. This is connected to this one. So now this one makes one landmass, like first four coordinates. And then these are water. I come here and I check this one. This alone is one landmass, so that makes it two islands. And then I come here, I'm checking this one. This is connected to this. These two make it another landmass, so that is the third island. So that's how we see it as three islands. So how do we solve it? So I'm seeing we can solve it by somewhat like a graph traversal. How do we do graph traversal? As we had discussed in one of the previous live stream, there are two types of graph traversals are there. One is breadth first search and other one is depth first search. In this problem, which one to be used? In this problem, there is no hard requirement that either we should go for depth first or breadth first. Basically, we need to traverse all the connected nodes. So once I started with the landmass, I need to cover all the connected landmasses connected to that one. So let's okay, let's pass this one. Okay, so the whole intention is we need to just traverse. Neither of neither of those traversal method makes it worse or optimize it as well. Basically, we need to traverse each of these coordinates at least once and at most once in order to arrive with the solution. So what should we do? And another thing is, okay, once I come to one, I'm traversing everything which is connected to this one. But again, when I come to this one, how would I know whether I have already traversed this one or not? So in graph, we have a concept called as we can keep track of visited or not. So some way we need to mark that this coordinate is also already visited. So if this is already visited, we won't bother traversing from this one also. We will move on to the next one. And this one is also visited. This one is also visited. And this is water. We won't traverse. This is visited. This is visited. Let's come to this example. From this one, we traverse this one. We traverse this coordinate, this one, this one. These four we mark it as visited. And then the zeros we don't traverse. And from this one, we mark it as visited. Let's code the solution, and then let's see. I will just, to make it easy, I will make a Boolean grid to mark the visited node. So visited is equal to new Boolean array. It should be like of the same dimension as this grid. So I'm initiating it as grid.length, and then this one is as grid.zero of length. So this is a multi-dimensional array. So uh, first row dot length would be the column value. So yeah, so that is there. So I have the visited now. So next thing is, what should I do? I should traverse each of the coordinates there. So for int, so how to coordinate a multi-dimensional array? Basically, we need to loop through each of the rows and each of the columns. I less than grid dot length and I plus plus. And then the same thing we can do here for j. Yeah. Okay. Here instead of grid dot length, it is grid of 0 dot length. So, and this should be j instead of I. Let me take it as j, I, j, x, y, whatever. Yeah. So once that is done, let's see. So now the current grid is uh, in current grid value or current cell. Let's say current cell is equal to grid of I comma j. So now let's see if current cell, let's make it as current value. It's not current cell also. Current value is equal to so this is character basically. If current character is equal to if it is 0, then I don't have to traverse or do anything. If it is 1, then I need to keep traversing. If it is equal to 1, then only I am bothered. Then what do? I need to mark it as, okay, this is the beginning of a new island. So I will take another variable here, number of islands is equal to, I'll initiate it as 0. So whenever I find a 1, like a new landmass, then I'll just increment it as, okay, I found a new landmass. So I'll increment the value of this one as number of islands plus plus. After that, what I'll do, okay, I counted for that landmass, and then now I have to iterate through that landmass. So or traverse through that landmass. So traverse the entire island. So traverse that landmass. How do I traverse? Basically, in order to traverse, what I'll send is, I'll send the I coordinate, I'll send the j coordinate, and I need a grid and visited. All these four. Using all these four, I would try to traverse. I created a separate method just to have a separation of concerns there. So private void. I don't want this to return anything, but I want this to mark all the visited nodes as already visited. So and instead of taking it as visited, I have an idea now. Instead of taking a separate grid for visited, if I visit some node which is 1, then I can mark it as -1. So that would do it. So let's say and this one is a character, not a number. So then I won't be needing this additional grid also. So let's comment out this one, and then public void and traverse is the method. Let's for the context here, let's mark it as traverse island. Let's traverse that island. This naming matters as well. If you have understood the problem or not. Int I, int j, and then grid. Grid is a multi-dimensional array. Okay. So now what should I do? I'm starting with that int I. So I need to check each of the neighbors from from that particular coordinate. So what do? How many neighbors are possible? For every coordinate, there can be 4 neighbors. Like for every coordinate, based on the definition, like the top one, bottom one, left one, and the right one. Like for example, for this one, there is no left coordinate, but only top, bottom, and right ones are there. For this corner ones, there's no left, there's no top, only right and bottom. So what can we do is, if I is less than I is greater than 0, yeah, if I is greater than 0 and I is less than grid dot length -1 or grid dot length. Okay, what should I do? First thing is, if I is less than 0 and if I is greater than grid dot length -1, that means it's a invalid coordinate already, so I don't have to do anything. I can just return. I don't have to traverse this one. like this means I is beyond the coordinate, which is water. If I is less than 0, or if it's greater than grid dot length minus 1, then yeah, then it is out of this grid coordinate. So I'll just return, won't do anything. The same thing I'll do for j. If j is less than 0 or j is greater than grid of 0 dot length minus 1, then I'll just return. Otherwise, what I'll do is I will I would want to traverse uh, I would want to traverse I plus 1 and then j as it is, and then grid. I plus 1 j grid means the right for any this one. I plus 1 means it will take the right coordinate, and then in the same way I'll take all the fours basically. So I minus 1, I minus 1 comma j and grid, and then I will be constant, and then it will be j plus 1 and grid, and another coordinate will be j minus 1 and grid. So I'm using depth first search to traverse along with each of these. And another thing which we need to do is I'm traversing. I'm not doing anything here. I'm just going to those coordinates there. So first thing I mentioned is I'll mark all the ones, all the traversed ones as minus 1, so that we don't try to traverse the island again when we are coming to that same coordinate. So what I'll do is here grid of, so I have checked it's not off the limits. If it's not less than 0 or if it is not greater than this one, once I'm sure that it is within that landmass. If grid of, also I need to check the value of the grid. If grid of I comma j, I and j, if it is equal to 1, then what should I do? I should mark it as, if it is equal to 1, then I'll make it as minus 1. Okay, 1, and since it is character, not integer here, I'll mark it as minus 1. Oh, minus 1 is not a character, 2 characters there. Okay, let's make it as 2 here. 2 is a character. So whatever I have already traversed, I'm marking it as 2. And whatever I have not traversed, that will be 1 valid. And if it is 0, else if, so it could be 0 or it could be already traversed as well. So else if grid of I is equal to either 0, or if grid of ij is equal to 2, then I won't traverse or do anything. I'll just return. So we can swap these two actually, and so that we can return in the first place. Yeah. So yeah, I'm returning here. Otherwise, I'll be traversing and marking it as 2 again. And then once I mark everything as 2, it will come. I traverse that island, and then okay, let's see in this example what will happen. So I came to this 1. I encountered this as 1, and then I did number of islands as plus plus. So number of islands became 1, and then I traversed the island. So when I traverse the island, the intention is this should become 2, this should become 2, and this should become 2. If I encounter a 0, I won't traverse any further. I'll just return. If I encounter a 2, I won't do anything. I'll just return. And in the same way, here, once this one is done, I'll move to this one. This is already 2. I won't do anything. This would have, like I modified it as 2 after traversing, right? So I won't do anything. If it is 1, then only I'm traversing. So 0, I won't do anything. I won't take any action. So the next one I encounter is when I come here. And then I'll just again increment the number of islands, and then I'll try to traverse the island, but all the 4 sides it's 0 only. So when I encounter a 0, okay, when I encounter a 0, basically it should just return. Encounter 0 or 2, it should just return, and when I encounter 1, it should return 2. Okay, I encounter a 0, So it won't do anything. It just incremented the number of islands and it will come back here. And then now the number of islands is 2. And then I'm coming here, nothing, 0, 0, I won't do anything. And then I encountered a 1 here again. Once I encountered, I'll increment the number of islands as 3. And then I will try to traverse. So all these neighbors are 0, 0. But this neighbor is 1. I'll mark this one also as 2 and the current one also as 2. So after that, yeah, everything is traversed and the final value should be 3. That should be returned. So that's mostly about it. Let's try to run this one and see if we have any problems with this approach. Okay, I'm checking grid of I comma j is equal to 2. Where is it? Okay, this is the assignment. I'm not, this is not a conditional operator. So, okay, current value is equal to 1. Where is this one? And then the grid also here. Grid and current value. Oh, okay, grid is a character array, not the integer array. So that is this one. And then the current value here, I changed it as current value. Okay, current value. And traverse of I comma j. Okay, and then I change the name of the method to traverse island instead of traverse. Okay, again missing return statement. So I'm returning here, um, missing return statement here. Okay, so I forgot to just return the number of islands. That's what we calculated everything for. Let's do that. Oh, index -1 out of bounds for length 4. Let's see if that is out of bounds. Yeah, if that is out of bounds, then we should just, if I is less than 0, oh, it is not and. This should be or. If one of those conditions are also not satisfied, then basically I should exit. Okay, I should be careful. Okay, let's see here. The return value is 1 here. Let's see for another. So this one, okay, for this example we saw the expected output is 3 and this one is 3. So okay, I'm not sharing. Okay, for the second problem also the expected output is 3 and output is 3. For the first case also it's 1 and 1. So let's see if it satisfies all the other cases also. And I can just remove this visitor because we managed it in line. Yeah. Okay, it satisfies all the other conditions also. So let me know if you have any questions about it before we move on to the next problem. Feel free to take your time to type. I can hold on and wait for a minute because there will be a lag between the stream and the current one. So. Yeah, that would be a great approach. So, I mean, I explained the approach, right? Just uh, listen to the approach that I explained and then try to implement it by yourself. So, as I know, there are like 3 skills while solving any problem. First thing is identifying the data structures. First thing is understanding the problem and the premise. So, we should read the problem carefully and then understand every corner cases and what, like how the output is working and how we are arriving at the output. Don't think about code or don't think about anything. We just have to understand logically this is the input and for this type of input this will be the output. So that's what we have to understand first, and then we need to just think about the corner cases or the edge cases. And then next thing is uh, next thing what we should do is, once we understood the problem, second thing is, and like identify the data structures most of the time. Like either it is a graph problem or it is a stack problem. As we saw in the last problem, there was opening braces and closing braces. So we, as soon as we come across that, okay, this is of a nature undo, redo, and like okay, last in first out, so it could, we could use a stack. And then here there is connection and we have to traverse, right? Like basically in order to identify the islands here, these are all connected and I need to identify how many are connected at once. That's why I thought of it as a graph problem. I think yeah, so this, so that makes it easier once we identify it. Next thing is translating it into code. That is like coding fluency. We need to, that comes by practice only. So these are independent skills. Like someone could be good at identifying the data structures, but they might not be as good in the in solving or translating it to code. So every all of those skills are independently important. So practicing makes us more better. So let's keep doing that. Yeah, Adam. I think don't go to. I would suggest. I would recommend don't go to DP as of yet. Like for me, DP is basically the problems where we memorize some solution. Like we can come up with that solution without DP also, but DP would make it more efficient because we won't recompute something. Like we will compute it and then we will keep the solution aside. When we try to compute the same thing again, we will make it a DP. For example, here also, like while calculating the number of islands, like we came up with this approach of okay, we marked it as visited, so that I think we can somewhere call it as okay, we memoized it somewhere that it is already calculated and we didn't spend an effort to recompute it. For in this problem it's a necessity, but in some other problems it won't be a necessity. We will keep recalculating it and it will um, shatter our efficiency, but still we can work through it. And also most of the companies have faced interviews or have taken the interviews in the companies, they don't recommend asking the DP problems yet. So I don't discourage you to look into the DP problems, but look into it once you are thorough with all the data structures. These array lists, trees or stacks and queues, binary search and graphs, these are much more important or much more frequently asked questions than DP. So like master these data structures first and then go to any algorithms. Algorithm knowledge come by like basically whoever has done lead code only. But data structure is much more relevant and much more closer to our day-to-day work as compared to those puzzle questions. So companies deter from asking those questions. So most of the companies I know won't ask that question. But yeah, we will tackle the DP problems also here as and when we come across in the blind 75 list. Even I need to learn about it. I haven't looked into a single DP problem as of yet. At least this time when I've started preparing. So let's look into that as we come across it. Okay, let's get to the next problem now. So next problem is best time to buy and sell the stock. So I see that there is a solution already there, but let me mark this. Okay, so here, uh, let me read the question first. You are given an array prices where prices of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. Okay, so this is the ith day, whatever the price of that particular stock. You want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a day in the future, different day in the future to sell the stock. Return the maximum profit you can achieve from this transaction. If you cannot achieve any profit, return zero. Okay, when you cannot achieve, why? Like let's understand first. So first thing is prices are given. Like this indicates the price of the stock on day zero. This indicates the price of the stock on day one, day two, day three, like that. And then you want to maximize your profit. We need to come up with a strategy to maximize our profit. So when should we buy? What's the ideal day to buy, and what's the ideal day to sell, and what's the maximum profit we can make? Here in the on the first day, if we buy, there is no other day we can sell and make profit here because all the other days the prices are less than the first day. So like we will be in loss. What if we buy on second day? Second day it's the minimum value. Any day after that, if we sell it, we will be in profit after the second day. But which day makes it most profit? So after this minimum value, the most profit is yielded by this most like the day with the maximum stock price, which is 6. So that gives us 5 here. So here in this case, why we are returning 0? Here they are saying if the profit can't be made, then let's return 0. Here you see the prices prices keeps getting declined. So when the market keeps going down, whenever we buy, there's no following future day where we can sell for a higher price. So there is no way that we can make profit. There's no ideal day to buy. That's why we are returning the output as 0. So I hope the question is understood. Okay, let's see. So what I'm thinking now is, let's see, like we cannot compute just the minimum value in this one and then compute the maximum value and then return the solution also, because if we do that, basically, like I can be like this one can come after 6 instead of, and 6 could be here, so we cannot buy and sell at that point. So what can we do is, like whenever we come across any stock price, we can look into the minimum price before that one. So minimum day before that one. So now on the first day, the minimum before that is nothing. We will just mark this as the minimum value, and we can start the iteration from here. So the minimum value is not less than the current price. So let's move on to the next one, and let's replace the minimum value as the current price. And then from here, the minimum value is 1 and the current value is 5. So if we bought at that minimum price and then sold at this current price, so that would make a profit of $4 or 4 units basically. And then I can move on to the next one. So if I sold at here, that wouldn't make any more profit than if I sold here. So I wouldn't replace that. And these are not less than minimum also, so I won't do any changes. And then I come across this 6, and then the minimum value is still at 1, still 1. So the maximum profit made is replaced with 5, 6 minus 1, 5. And the next day it's again profit, but it is less than whatever the profit if I sold here. So I won't do anything. I'll just return 5. So that would give O of n, O of n solution. And let's say we didn't discuss the complexity or the runtime for the other problems. The other problems were relatively easy, and this one is also very easy. So it's easy to determine the runtime, because it's like we are iterating through the array literally once. So if we are iterating through a single array once, means it's O of n. If the array size becomes like if here the array size is 6, then we are iterating through 6 elements. If the array size becomes 12, then we would be iterating through 12 elements. So it is directly proportional to n. That's why we mark it as O of n. Let's code the solutions for this one. For int past min, I'll take past min price. So I'll take a value as integer past min price as prices of 0. That's the first value. I'm initiating it as the 0th value. And then let's start iterating from the prices from the first value. I is equal to 1, I less than prices dot length, and then I plus plus. And then here I need to check if prices of I is less than this past min price. If it is less than the past min price, then what I'll do is I'll replace this min price, past min price, with the current price, prices of I. Okay, I have used prices of I twice, so it's the time to replace it with another variable called current price for making it more readable. If current price is less than past price, then I am replacing the past price as current price. Okay. If not, if it is not less than that, that means I can calculate the output here or the profit here. So for I can take two more variables. Int max profit is one variable. Max profit is equal to, I can just initiate it as 0 and see. And then int max profit is that one, and int current profit, I can have another one, another variable called current profit. That too, I can mark it as 0. Okay, here what I'll do, I'll calculate the current profit. Current profit is equal to current price minus past minimum price, whatever the past minimum price is. That I'm doing only if the current price is greater than the past minimum price. I'm calculating the current price. Otherwise, I'm not. I'm just replacing this one here. And then I need to, if this current price is greater than the max profit, our current profit is greater than the max profit, then I need to replace the max profit with the current profit. So what I'll do is max profit is equal to max dot maximum of current profit and max profit. Max profit, and I'll compute the maximum of out of these two, and that would be the max profit. Once everything is calculated, I'll just return the max profit here. Let's run the code and check. Okay, so there were two cases, 71536. So this one we are returning 5 as the output, and expected is 5 as well. And for case 2, for which the prices are declining continuously, so the expected output is 0 and we are returning 0. Let's try to submit this and see. Okay, so this works. So yeah, this is the most optimal that we can do, and I think we are writing the readable code. If like anybody should be able to understand the approach by just by reading it the code. Usually, if the problem is complicated, then I would recommend writing a kind of pseudocode or pseudo comments before starting the implementation. But if the problem is simple enough, then our code should be self-explanatory. Um, and yeah, that's the recommended approach from me. Let me know if you have any questions in this one. Okay, I assume there are no questions. So I did not mark this in the sheet that we are managing. Let me do that. This is LeetCode marathon session. That's a cool name, right? LeetCode marathon. And that's what I want to do. I want to finish up those 75 questions within this weekend, not within before this weekend, also even earlier, and then focus on system design and some other aspects of interview preparation as well. So rarely we get time, so let's make the best use of it. Okay, so yeah, I'm just updating the problems that we solved here as well in the sheet that I commented before. Yeah, so yeah, let's move to the next problem now. And if you guys prefer, then I can no, not guys, let's be politically correct. If you people prefer it, then I can add these answers or add these solutions that are coded by me another um, into a GitHub repository, and then send the link as well. I'll do that later. I don't want that process to reduce our efficiency here. So I'll do that later, or else I'll share it in the share the coding solutions in that sheet only, that where whichever the link that I'm sharing. So I can share the code also there. So let's see. Okay, here it is coded it. Let's remove this. Okay, I removed it. And do you guys want a break? We solved how many? We solved four questions. If I take a break, I think I'll take like at least 15-20 minutes and go eat lunch and go eat dinner and come back. So where are you guys from? Whoever has joined, everyone's quiet. Let's see. Where are you people from? Like, where do you live? Nobody else is active on the chat. I see more people are watching, but they are not active in the chat. Oh, Sadam, where in Canada? East Coast or West Coast? I live in the West Coast of United States. Nice, nice. City of Kelowna. Let me see. Where is it located? Okay, okay. Kelowna is here, and Kelowna is here, and I live. Where do I live? Okay, Kelowna is here, and I live here in Seattle. So not too far. Yeah. So yeah, it might be like maybe 4 hours or 5 hours at most, I guess. Yeah, it looks beautiful from whatever I see here. Okay, let's see. What about others? Why others are not commenting? What should I do to make them comment? It's kind of like I have this target to complete this 75 problems in 3-4 days. I know it's kind of challenging or aggressive plan, but at the end of the day, even if I don't solve it, at least I need to go through the solution of each of those. At least I need to read those solutions like I'm reading some text. So that's the target for me. I don't want to keep stretching it for the next weekend or again. So, um, Sadam, are you working full time and preparing for interviews or learning coding? Like, you can introduce yourself now or sometime later in the comments also. All the others as well. Just let me know what you guys are doing. Like, at least not if not about the other things. Where are you with respect to the your coding journey, and what helps that you would need in order to uh, progress faster? So I can help in whatever way possible to make your coding journey easier. That I can do. Yeah, and yeah, as in when I get time about creating content, or I can have a free like like not free like free space, free spoken, like a live stream where we connect on a call and we can just chat and see, understand where everyone is, and try to suggest or recommend the resources or materials, and according to their necessities. So that would be helpful, I guess, because I know like one size doesn't fit all basically. For someone, they might be feeling I'm being too descriptive while explaining the solutions, and for some advanced, for some beginners, it might not be descriptive enough. So it depends where you are in the journey exactly. So let's see. Let's move on to the next one. So merge intervals. So this is also a lead code medium problem. We can solve this one and then take a break, and then let's run and take a break and then come back and grind more problems. Okay, let's understand the question. Given an array of intervals where intervals of I is equal to start of I and end of I. Okay, so here array of intervals is given, and the interval is defined by interval of I, where start of I and end of I is the zeroth and first indices of that array. So, okay, 1 is the start and 3 is the end of that interval. 2 is the start and 6 is the end of this interval. So, here they are saying merge all the overlapping intervals and return an array of non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in the input. Okay, so here, um, yeah, here in this case, um, in this example only, let's say, so 1 3 in 1 3, like 2 6, 2 comes in between 1 2 1 3. So I will try to combine these two since they have some overlapping. So 1 3 would be 1 3 and 2 6 would become 1 6, and then there is no overlapping between 1 6 and 8 10. They are separated. So 1 6 and 8 10 I'm representing as it is, and 15 18 also doesn't have any overlap. So that is a separate interval. I'm just representing as it is. Okay. Um, So this one, and here another intervals. Let's see another example here. Second example, 1 4 and 4 5. Okay, this is the question I had. Like in the let's say in the interview, if they ask about this problem, if they just give only this example without giving the second example, then the first thing that should come to our mind is, what if this was 1 3 and 3 6? Are they overlapping, or they like not joining? Like, should we represent it or merge them together or not? So that is answered here with this second example, 1 4 and 4 5. Even though I like overlap is just about 4, they have combined and merged it as 1 5. So they have answered it as yes, yes, that overlaps if it has the same ending and same starting interval times. So yeah, now we have the answer for that one, that edge case. Let's see how we can combine it. As we learned, like, we can initialize another output array, and then we can start iterating through this one. And I hope it is ordered in the increasing order. I don't think anything is given there. Given an array of intervals where intervals of all overlapping intervals, and return an array. So they have not given that this entire array would be ordered in the ascending interval. So I mean, this 15 18 can come before this 1 3 altogether. So first thing is we need to sort this interval based on the start time. So that would give us a clearer view. So if we sort this interval based on the start time, and then we will get the similar view as whatever is given here. And then I'm going through the list 1 3. So 1 3 I can add it to my first element in the array. Let's write it like this. Okay, let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, so this is a merge interval problem. So 1 3 is given. This is the input. So we have the output here. So we have the output here. In the output, what we should do? First thing is first thing is sort this one. Step one is sort the intervals. And then step 2 is I initiated the output, and then I'm taking the first element in that array and then representing it here 1 3, and then I'll take the second element, and then in the second element I'm checking if the start of the interval is less than the end of this interval. If this is less than the end of this interval, then that means less than or equal to. If this is less than or equal to the end of this previous interval, then I need to merge those two. How do I merge it? So while merging, the end could be like, it could be, let's say, instead of 1 3, there was an example of 1 6 and 2 5. So how do we merge this one? So this is also overlapping. I entered 1 6 first, entered 1 6 first, and then 2 5 is there after this one. So I need to take the minimum value of these two, minimum value of this start times out of these two, and make that as the start time. And that is anyway given by, we have already sorted it based on the minimum value of the start time. So first one will be the minimum value. So that will remain constant. And then the end time is not always the end time of the second interval, but it is the maximum of the end time of both of these intervals. So in among 6 and 5, whatever is the end time. So 6 is the maximum. So we will combine or merge them as 1 6, which is same as this one, but this is kind of swallow this entire interval because it lies within this interval. And then we will come to 8. 8 is not less than or equal to 6. So we will keep it as a separate interval. So 8 10 we will keep it as a separate one. And the next one also the same way. That is also, it's not less than or equal, 15 is not less than or equal to 10. So we will mark it as 15 18 as the last interval, and we will return this merged intervals as output. Now let's look into the implementation of this. If it is not descriptive enough, feel free to comment. I'll try to explain it again. Okay, here merge. Let's say output. First thing, as I said, that will be in the format given in the interval. So this is the same output format that we need. Always check the format here. The expected type is integer, and then output intervals is equal to new integer array. Okay, another problem that we encounter here is, okay, if we do like this, we need to know the length of this array as well. Like this is a static array, right? So we need to know the length as well. So instead of this one, let's take a dynamic array implementation. So if we take a list, then we don't have to define how many merge intervals would come in the beginning itself. So I'm taking a dynamic list of, we can take integer array type only, because we know that single interval would be always 2 elements. So that one we do not have any problem, but we do not know how many would be in the output in the beginning only. So let's take this like this. Let's take it like this. Okay. And then this will be a new array list. Okay. Once that is done, next thing what we discussed, we will go through int I is equal, we'll go through the all the intervals one by one, and then see I less than intervals dot length I plus plus. Okay. So now here, what we can do is, first thing is, if okay, first thing is current interval. Let's say current interval would be of the form integer array. Current interval would be intervals of I. Okay, that would be the current interval. And then previous interval would be, if previous interval, if we need to check, how do we check it? So we can check in the output interval. If output interval dot length dot size is equal to 0, or we can check it's empty also, I guess. I'm not sure if this method is there, but let's assume it's there. If it is empty, then we will just add the current interval into that output interval, because there is nothing to merge with. Dot add the current interval. Okay, if not, and then I can continue. Once I add here, nothing else to do in the loop, I can continue in this from the next index here. So if it is not empty, then what I'll do is I'll take one previous interval. What was the previous interval in the output array? So output intervals dot get. Previous interval is get by the last value in the output interval. So how to get the last value of in the output interval? So last value would be indexed by output intervals dot size minus 1. Okay, I'm taking the last value. So output intervals dot get. This is the last index. Last index is dot size minus 1. So that would be the previous interval. Now I need to see if the current interval can be merged with the previous interval. How to check that one? And also another thing I forgot is to sort. So sort the intervals array based on start time. So that is something we can get back to that later. So here, like let's come to the context here. Previous interval is taken and current interval is taken. How do we know if it overlaps with the current interval? So now here, this is the current interval. This was the previous interval. So here I need to check if the current interval start is less than or equal to previous interval's end. So if current intervals start means current interval of 0 is less than or equal to previous interval of 1, like this is the end of the previous interval. If it is less than that, then what do we do? Then we need to merge it. How do we merge? Merge is, I said, the start would be anyway, we have sorted it based on the ascending order of start time. So start would be the same as whatever we did, but the end would be the minimum of these two. So in 1 3 and 2 6, basically minimum is 6. Maximum of these two. In 1 3, like 1 3 and 2 6, the maximum end time is 6. So we will take 6 and then we will append it to the or modify the previous interval only, rather than adding a new thing to the end there. Okay, so let's see if this condition is satisfied. Then we need to merge. How do we merge? Merging is performed by output interval dot get. So this is, I'm taking the last value in the output interval, whatever we had, with the same method, and then we will see the second value in that. Basically, first value remain the same. The second value is of 1, like end time. Basically, end time would be equal to math dot max of. So we can take it like this also. Uh, merge end time is equal to math dot max of current interval of 1 comma previous interval of 1. So that would give us the merge end time. So instead of doing all this, we did all that here. Merge end time would be returned by this. So now this is if we have an overlap. Let's say if we do not have any overlap, what will happen in that case? So after this 2 6, we merge this as 1 6. Okay, next value we have come here 8 10. So for 8 10, this wouldn't satisfy. It is not less than 8 is not less than or equal to 6, the previous interval. So it won't come inside this condition. So I'll just add it to the output intervals as it is. Output intervals dot add the current interval. Okay, that's it. Nothing else to do. And if the next one is overlapping with this one, then it will be handled this way. If the next one is not overlapping, then it will iterate through everything, what we can do is we can just return output intervals dot like we need to convert this to an array. So how do we convert this to an array type? New int of new integer of, I don't know actually how to convert array list to an array. I think there is a toList method or something. New int of output intervals. If someone knows it, feel free to comment. To array new int of something like this, and the length would be out intervals dot size. Okay, I'm pretty sure this won't be right, but let's see. Okay, so this is not correct. Let's see if someone knows how to convert it. Let's check the solution. How to convert array list to an array. It's always a confusing this thing, confusing syntax there for me. Okay, got it fast. Okay, since I'm streaming and handling multiple of this windows, it's taking a lot of time to load. I hope there is no problem with the streaming though. So, and this Geeks for Geeks is always slow to load as well. There are a lot of ads in that. Okay, see, that made a difference. So list dot to array of array. Okay, array is this one. Okay, list dot to array, new array of this thing like this. Let's check this way. List dot to array, new array, and they are telling I don't need any of this. Out list dot to array. Yeah, I think I have done the same thing. Dot to array. Yeah, dot to array. That doesn't work. New int of output intervals dot size. Yeah, I think I'm doing the same thing here. This dot to array of. Note that this works only for arrays of reference types. For arrays of primitive types, use the traditional way. Okay, here there is something else. Okay, they're asking just to write basically write a for loop. I'm pretty sure there is a better approach than writing a for loop. Let's see how to get this one. We should not spend so much time in this. Okay, we can do it with the for loop for sure, but I don't want to have a for loop there. I'm pretty sure there is some other way of converting within single line syntax. Yeah, I don't seem to find it now. New integer of output intervals dot size. Exactly, that's what I'm doing here, and I can just let it out as well. Integer is an integer array. Okay, let's just convert it for now. Output array is equal to new int of this one. Then for integer interval, in output intervals, I'll iterate through that output interval, and I'll just add it to the output array, and I'll need an index as well. Index is equal to 0. Output array of index plus plus is equal to this interval. Okay, this should at least syntax fine. I haven't still written the sort method here. I need to write that. I'm just checking if the output syntax is right, and I need to return this one instead of this entire thing. Okay, output array is equal to new int of output intervals dot size, comma 2. Yeah, this is the one, right? Cannot find symbol output array. Yeah, so this should work. Okay, this might be the mistake that I made then also. Let me give it a try again with that single line syntax. Let's not replace it. Output intervals dot to array, and instead of that, let's, and I can comment out this too for now. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now it's working. Yeah, I'm in this syntax case. So now we saved all these syntax or lines of code to just convert from array list to array. Okay, so now this looks good, but I haven't sorted this. I'm pretty sure if we submit it, it should give an error or something, because I don't see any mention of input would be sorted based on the start time. So if I submit it, it should give me an error. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, this is the type of input where 1 comma 4 and then 0 comma 4. So the input is not sorted based on the start time here. So that's why we are getting this error. Um, so one way of addressing it is basically start time can be merged start time. I can make it as something like but yeah, that won't address it actually. Like if even if I come across the merge start time as the minimum of these two, this doesn't have to be next to each other. There can be completely different interval in between that, and I will keep adding to that interval. Then I'm just considering the previous interval there. So it is a must that we should sort the interval array. So how to do that? Arrays dot sort intervals. So how to sort it? We need to provide the comparator method as well. So let's say it's easy to write a comparator. There are two intervals are given. Let's say interval 1 and interval 2. If two intervals are given, what do? I need to determine which is greater. How do I determine it? I determine that based on the start time. Like so, what I'll do is I'll just do the integer comparison of start time of both. I'll just pass the start time, which is interval 1 of 0, comma interval 2 of 0. So that would be the start time. So that would compare and return. I do not even need this, I guess, because it's a single line. Uh, I do not need this. Yeah. So let's run this one. Okay. And for this example, I can use this test case also and run this one. And that one also works. Satisfied now, 0, 4. Since it is sorted. And now submission is working and 87%. So this is good. I hope this one is readable as well. So I'm kind of happy with the solution. First we sorted the intervals, and then I just initiated the output intervals. Why did I initiate it as array list instead of the output format? Because I do not know the length of the final merged list, how much it will be. So I needed a dynamic list instead of a fixed size array. So I took a dynamic list, and then I'm going through iterating through the list. If it is first element, then I do not have any previous or anything. That's why just I added it to the output intervals and just continued. And if it is not the first element, then I'm taking the previous interval, whichever is in the output interval already added. So this is the last element in the output interval. And then I'm checking the current intervals start time with the previous intervals end time. And then if it is less than or equal to, if the current interval start time is less than or equal to previous interval's end time, then I need to merge it. Otherwise, I'm just adding the interval as it is to the output. How do I merge it? Well, if I decide to merge it, I will modify the end time. End time will be the maximum of both of those intervals, and then I'm just modifying the previous the last element in the output intervals. Last element in the output interval is output intervals dot get of the size minus 1, and then I'm just modifying the end time in that with this merge end time I calculated here. So that's about it. And then this is the line where we struggle to um, convert the output intervals, this dynamic array, into the primitive array type. And yeah, this is the syntax. Let's remember it. Otherwise, it's okay to refer it as well during the interview. So none of the good interviewers would comment if we refer for that syntaxes. Yeah, so this would give us the solution. That's about this one. I hope everybody understood. If you have any questions about this problem, please feel free to ask. I'll stay in the call for a few more minutes, and then let's take a little longer break. I'll just finish my dinner and come back within 15-20 minutes for sure. Until then, please don't go away. Revise the previous problems that we worked on, and then we can come back to this one. We can continue the streak. Let's not leave the streak. And how many problems did we solve? This is the merge interval. So did I add this one in our list? I'm not sure yet. LeetCode marathon. No, not yet. So let's add it there. Okay, we solved 5 problems today, at least until now. Let's at least try to solve 5 more. And okay, so now this is updated. Why this link is not updated that I shared? Okay, that is also updated. Um, okay, okay, done. So let's take a break now, and let's come back within this time. Like, I'm just taking long break. Maybe let's configure the long break for 20 minutes, and then let's get back in 20 minutes for sure. Okay, see you guys. I will have shared this code as it is if someone needs to refer. Hello, hello. I'm back. So let me get settled down. Uh, so is anybody there still in the call? Let me get some water. Yeah. Hi, Sudham. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, good to know that you are learning. Uh, Let me know how I can help. First thing is let's design a program. Like I do not know what's the path that you are following, what programming language, and what you are trying to learn, and how much time you have. Based on that, we can try to come up with a program or something. There are so many materials available uh, in open source, so we can do something. We can Let's talk about it in another call. And I see two or three more viewers. So uh, please post a message and try to introduce yourself, and then we can start. We can start with the next problem. Yeah. For some reason, this YouTube studio is acting weird today. I'm not able to load any. Oh, actually, the chats are loaded in the. Okay, not in the usual way. Not in the YouTube studio though. Okay, it still says something went wrong. So I'm not able to see the entire thing. Okay, let's continue. Let me enable the webcam as well. Okay, all good. So I hope this merge intervals was clear to everyone. Please raise your hand if it's not. Please feel free to comment if it's not clear. Let's move on to the next problem now. So what's the next problem? Merge intervals is over. Longest palindromic substring. Okay. These are the ones which are a little tricky for me. Longest palindromic substring. So it's good that we are tackling it. Let me add that to the sheet that we are using to keep track. Okay. So now this is a medium lead code medium problem. Longest palindromic substring. Lead code number 5. Medium. Given a string S, return the longest palindromic substring in S. Okay. So here in this string, BABAD. So this is the longest palindromic substring. What if like every string or every string has a palindrome of length 1 character for sure. 2 character can be a palindrome when both are the same character, and 3 character can be palindrome like this, like first and last are same. Doesn't matter what's the middle character. 4 characters can be palindrome when middle two are same and edge two are same. Yeah, 5. Yeah, if this was a B, then it would have been a palindrome. BABAB, but this is G, so it's not palindrome. It looks interesting. Yeah, leave that. Let's not make comments that would confuse more. So BABAB would have been a 5 letter palindrome, but it's BABAD, so it is the maximum length palindrome is only 3 letters here. And then in this, let's look at this one. In this one, BB is a palindrome, 2 letter palindrome. So maximum is that BB. How to determine that longest palindromic substring? Let's see. Let's think. So how to determine the longest palindromic substring in this one. If anybody has any ideas, feel free to comment. Uh, I'm thinking, okay, I iterate through the first character. Like, can we do this anything like two pointers from the beginning and from the last? If we do that, okay, last character is not equal to the first character. So I should check what is a palindrome first thing. Palindrome is that when you reverse it, it should be the same thing. It should return in a same string. So I think I can check the entire string, uh, or else each combination that we can check. Okay, so B A D. So here I'm checking B and D. Those things are not equal. So I should reduce this by 1, and I should reduce the scope by 1, and I can check BA, and if that doesn't work, I'll reduce the scope and BAB. So now BB are equal. I'll increment B by 1 and B by 1, decrement this B by 1 index. So that is the same letter. Then I think I can just return that substring. But now the puzzle is, how did I decide just to decrement the last index, not increment the first index? So how do I do that? In order to do that, let's see. I think I need to consider both the cases. It could be like DABAB. If it was DABAB, then I should have gone to the next character here. So once I compare the first character and the last character, what I should do is, if if this 4-letter character is a palindrome or not, and then I should see if this 4-letter string is a palindrome or not. So that is a bit tricky to keep traversing like that. It would return a combination, so many combination of every size and length, right? And then I will I will have to um, keep doing the same thing. I think this is the DP problem. Um, so is it DP? Let's see. Topics. Yeah, it is a dynamic programming problem. So what I'm thinking is, okay, now while okay, so let's say this is the string. Let's go to the whiteboard and see. And this is the longest palindromic substring. Okay, and the input is something like this. Input is this. So how do we know if it's a palindrome or not? One thing is, okay, I check the first letter start. Start is equal to 0, end is equal to 4. So our left is equal to 0 and right is equal to 4. Anything. And then I'll compare. The character on the left index, is it equal to the character on the right index? If it is equal, then I think I can reduce both of that one by one and check. If they are not equal, then what should I do? Then I should increment this by 1 and check if the rest of the characters are a palindrome or not. And then I should decrement this by 1 and I should check this rest of the character is a palindrome or not. But in the meanwhile, uh, and the same thing would be follows. Like I would follow, okay, here I'll compare the first and the last one. Then if they are not equal, then I will check this part and then this part. But in this one also, I'll check this part. So there is a scope of storing for this string whether that's a palindrome or not. how do we go about it? So that's where the dynamic programming can be used. Like for ABA, we will end up calculating the ABA, it's a palindrome or not, when we consider this BABA also, when we consider this ABAD also. We will see the next step is to calculate for ABA. So once if we have computed if it's a palindrome or not, we can just reuse that same result rather than recomputing or recalculating. Mm, yeah, that we know. Now how do we go about the approach? Yeah. So as per the approach, I'm pretty sure there is a easier making it easier rather than trying to come up with something like come up with something like a backtracking or anything. Like backtracking and memoization could be one of the approach, I think. But other than that also, uh, there can be a DP approach. Let's let's see. We can follow uh, one approach for this. Let's ask ChatGPT what how it will explain the solution to us. Um, Longest palindromic substring, and then I'll try to explain the same thing. If my ChatGPT is set, no. So okay, let me share this one. ChatGPT. Okay, yeah. Let me ask the question now. Explain the solution for this in an easier way for a software engineer. Um, I code in Java. Explain it in steps. Don't output too much unnecessary text. Okay, let's see. Longest palindromic substring. Find the longest substring, and let me add my camera also here. Okay, okay. Find the longest substring in a given string that is a palindrome. Okay. Instead of checking all the substrings, which is too slow, which I was thinking of using backtracking, we expand palindromes from each character as a center. Oh, got it. We are considering each character as a center and we try to expand around it. Got it. That makes sense. Understand the concept. A palindrome reads the same forward and backward. Each character in the string can be the center of a palindrome. Palindromes can have odd length or even length. If it's an odd length character, then the middle character can be anything, like race car. This is car here in reverse, and this is car here in forward, and E can be anything arbitrary because this is center element. Center is a single character for odd length, and even length where center is we already discussed this one. Center is the similar like the same characters. A B B A N O O N. Center is between two characters. Okay, so expand the center. Expand from the center. Start from each index I in the string. Expand in both directions to find the longest palindrome center at I. Do this for both. Odd length palindromes center at I. Even length palindrome center at I and I plus 1. Okay. Keep track of the longest palindrome. Maintain variables for start max length of the longest palindrome form. Maintain variables for the start and max length of the longest palindrome form. Okay. Keep track of the longest palindrome. Maintain the variables for the start and the max length of the longest palindrome found. Okay, just start and the max length are enough for us. Okay. If we newly found palindrome is if the newly found palindrome is longer, update the variables. Okay, got it. And return the longest palindromic substring. Makes sense. Uh, with this explanation, I think we should be able to implement it. Basically, what they are saying is a palindrome, like rather than trying to consider each substring in the string and see if that's a palindrome or not, what we can do is for each character in the string, like for example, for ABA, let's assume A is a palindrome and then try to expand around it. Okay, A doesn't have any previous character, so it will be a single character palindrome. Let's assume B. B is the center and see it's a palindrome. So the elements around it are same. So it is a three-word palindrome. If it was like here, R, one word palindrome, there's nothing else. For A, again one letter palindrome because R and C are not equal. But when we come to A, we can consider it could be a part of odd length palindrome or an even length palindrome as well. So if it's an even length palindrome, then it could be part of the like the center would be this letter and the next letter also. So if that is the case, like AC, that should be the same character if that is the case. So this here it's not the same character, so I can just move on to the next character. C. C is center, but A and E are not equal. And if I consider C and E, then also A and C around it are not, and C and E itself is not equal, so that won't work. And now let's come to E. Let's see, C and C are equal, A and A around equal, R and R are equal. So that's a palindrome. So we found the longest palindrome there and we can return it. Center is a single character at that point. And even length, we will find it like this. So we can expand that same thing. Let's get to the code and try to implement the same concept. So that should not be hard now. Like we ChatGPT explained us the approach. Let's try to implement it by ourselves. Let's let me keep my phone in order to read the messages if there is any. Yeah, Saddam has had the same approach in mind that I thought basically. Like if we need to generate all the substrings and check if it's palindrome or not. But yeah, here rather than going to generate all the substrings, here we are just checking for every character if that is a part of a bigger palindrome or not. So that makes it much more easier and much more efficient also. So one thing is expanding from the center. Another one is just uh, checking like it could be like this could be the center of the odd length palindrome, or this one plus the next character could be the center of the even length palindrome, either of those two. So let's see. So what they said, we need to store two elements here. So one thing is int longest start, and then longest start we can mark it as 0, and then longest length palindrome is equal to 1. We can mark it as 1, longest length palindrome. And then next thing is we need to do is we need to iterate through each of those. So we know the longest length palindrome and longest this one. Okay, longest length we can mark it as 0 for now, or max, or we can make it as maximum length instead of longest length. And chart max, or yeah, longest chart I guess. And then uh, I need to check the initial condition. Why did I make it as 0? If the s is 0, then I think I can just return 0. If length of s, or if s is equal to s dot length, or s is empty also would work, I guess. If that is 0, then I think I can just return the longest palindrome would be, okay, it's in the string format, so not character. I'll just return the empty list if that's the case. If not, I'll have to iterate through each of the letters in the um, in the string. is equal to 0, I less than s dot length and I plus plus. Okay. Now int length 1 or int um, or what int when we will consider this alone as center, whenever there is a odd, okay, I'll consider it as odd length is equal to expand from center, and I'll pass the current index, and then string, first is string, and then I'll pass the current index, and then the next index. Next index is I mean center is only one character, so let's just take that one, and then okay, that is the odd length, that should give the odd length, and then int uh, odd even length. Whenever there is the even length palindrome, then also I need to expand from the center. But what can I do? Instead of passing I, I'll pass it as I plus 1. So once this one is done, I need to see if odd length, first thing is I will determine the maximum out of this one. Integer current max, current max is equal to dot max of odd length comma even length. Okay, and then I will replace this max length also with I think how to determine the max length. Yeah, I can determine the max length by max length. I can determine easily. Math dot max of this one, uh, current max comma max length. But I'm thinking how the max character is. I mean the character start is determined. So max length I know. Let's say for this example, race car example, race car example. Okay, I came to E here, and let this max length or the current max. I mean even length would be nothing here. Odd length would be 7. So now since I have 7 from E, which is the index, which is at the index 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So the current index I is equal to 3. I is equal to 3, and I'm getting the max length as max length as uh, 7. So now I should determine the first character. First character would be like 3 minus 7 by 2. 7 by 2 is 3. Yeah, 3 minus 7 by 2. I am doing 7 by 2 because this, when this is the center, like this would be spread on both the sides. And what if it was the, at that we can check again. So 3 minus 7 by 2. 7 by 2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So start would become 0. So starting from 0 up to length 7, I think that would be a palindrome. What if it's a odd length one? So if it's odd length one, sorry, even length one, then uh, for this for this example, I is when we will get a palindrome, when I is at B, which is at index 1, I is equal to 1, then I will pass I plus 1 also, and I'll determine there is a maximum length palindrome of 4 characters. So max length will be 4. And then I how to determine start. I told current index minus max length by 2. Max length is 4. 4 by 2 is 4 by 2 is 2. 4 by 2 is 2. 1 minus 2 will become minus 1. So that won't give the value for us. So uh, it would be minus 1. It would give minus 1. So this won't be true. Let's do max length minus 1 by 2. So max length minus 1 by 2. 7 minus 1 by 2 would make it 7 minus 1 by 2. So 6 by 2 is equal to 3. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0 then. And here 4 minus 1 by 2, 3 by 2, that will become 1. So 1 minus 1 will become 0 here also. So max length minus 1 divided by 2. Let's go with that example. So with these two examples, it's clear. So now we have the start index also. So start index or longest start is equal to what we determined, current I minus um, max length minus 1 divided by 2. And when do we need to calculate this one? When the current max is greater than the max length, then only we can calculate this. And this one doesn't have. Okay. If current max is greater than max length, then I am replacing the max length and longest start both with the updated values. Okay, and here this one I do not have to determine. I have already checked current max is greater, so I can just return that. So this would give it, and then I can just return s dot substring of starting character is this one, longest start, and then ending character is longest start plus this max length. Okay, now till this one is, we haven't implemented this expand from center method, so that is the critical piece here. How do I expand from center? So usually I describe it as a private method because it doesn't have to have an interface from outside. So let me see, private and what should this return? This should return the max length of the palindrome from that character. So that should return an integer. Okay, and then the input is string s, a string. Yeah, yes, should be good. That's what is given. And then integer left, and then integer right. Okay. Okay. So now I have passed, for the odd length character, I have passed I and I because I am just comparing. I just need to compare the same character with same character. Here I'm passing I with I plus 1. So B should be equal to B. Otherwise, it's not. It cannot be an even length palindrome. Here I'm just given B here. So I'll just compare it with itself, nothing else. So what I'll do is, if or while s dot char at, or I need to check if they are within the boundaries also, left and right, if they are within the boundaries also, because I saw here when we check the first character, I can't just go back to the previous character and try to check. So while left is greater than 0 and right is less than s dot length, so I'm just checking the boundaries here, minus 1 and s dot char at I, or s dot char at left equal to s dot char at right when they are in limit, and if until these are equal, I should be incrementing the right and decrementing the left and keep expanding my horizon. And then once it is done, I should return the maximum difference between those two. So let's see the example again. I think I shouldn't have deleted here. Just that example, race car. Okay, for race car, I was given as 1, or left was given as 3, and right was also 3. Now left became 0 and right became 7. And then until is okay, as long as left is greater than 0, we did this one. And then left was greater than 0, like here. As long as left is greater than 0, no, I think this is not correct. So we need to compare this last characters also. So I should check until left is greater than or equal to 0 and right is less than or equal to s dot length minus 1. I'm doing this. And left minus minus, right plus plus. So once this is done, so here, okay, if I keep following this condition, okay, left became 0 and right became 6. So left became 0, right became 6. At that point, both are still equal. And then I did left minus minus, right plus plus. Right became 7 and left becomes minus 1. So then this condition fails and then I'll come out. So left becomes minus 1 and then right becomes 7 and then the condition fails. But my length expected, this method is expected to return 7, which is the length of this palindrome. So I should return right minus left, which will become 7 minus of minus 1 means 8 minus 1. So that would work well. Let's compare for this example. For this example, CBBD, left was given as left was initialized as 1 and right was initialized as 2, 1 and 2, and then it will come to okay, left was 1 and right was 2. Left was 1 and right was 2, and then left is greater than 0. Okay, that one, this one satisfied. B is equal to B. Then left minus minus, right plus plus. So left became 0 and right became 3. Left became 0 and right became 3. And at that point, we won't get inside this loop because character at 0 and character at 3 are not equal. So this condition would fail and we won't go further into the loop. And then I'm returning this one. Let's see. Right is 3. 3 minus left, 3 minus 0. 3 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 1, 3 minus 0 is 3. And then minus 1 is 2. So that would return a value of 2, which is correct for this one. This has a two-letter palindrome. Yeah, I think this should work as per this troubleshooting. Uh, yes, dot length. So length is a method in that string. Again, return missing statements. This should be returned, not. Okay, so these cases are accepted. So BABAB succeeds, OABAB succeeds. Let's add another thing, that race car thing, race car example. So that should also work. Yeah, for race car, yeah, it works. And then was there any other complex examples? Yeah, I think this should be good. Let's submit it and check. Okay, yeah, this one works. Awesome. Yeah, this was a difficult problem for me. Now it is kind of easily understood. So yeah, let's let me repeat the character. If anybody has any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask. Do we need somewhere to generate? Okay, yeah. Feel free to ask if you have any questions. And here, let me reiterate it. So I need to we need to determine the longest palindrome in a given string. So what we thought of doing was the approaches. We will start our iterating through each of the character, and we will consider each character as the center of the palindrome and keep expanding and see if that and see if we are able to determine the maximum length palindrome. So that's the basic premise. And while expanding or while determining with the current character as the palindrome, as the center of the palindrome, what we need to uh, consider is there are two cases. Palindrome can be odd length palindrome or even length palindrome. If it is an odd length palindrome, the center letter would be or the center character would be the same single letter. And if it's a even letter palindrome like this, BB is a even letter palindrome. In this one, center letter would be two characters. If we consider race car, RAC on either side, and E would be in between. So, so that would be a odd length palindrome. So, in order to do that, we need to consider both the cases for each character. So, what I'm doing is I'm considering each character could be a odd length palindrome, could be a center of the odd length palindrome, or could be a center of the even length palindrome, and I'm trying to determine that what is the maximum length palindrome that it can make with the current letter as the center. So here from expand from center, I'm exactly doing that. I'm just checking if left is greater than 0 or right is less than s dot length minus 1. So if it's within the boundary or not. And then if s dot caret left is equal to s dot caret right. In the first time when we come to this loop, it is checking the same character. If it is the same character, is same character. But here for the even length, I'm checking if the current character is same as the next character. And then I keep expanding around it and see if those are same character. As long as that, I keep going. And then finally, I'll return the maximum length palindrome that we can make with these letters as the center. So that's about it. Yeah. So this is good. This is a good exercise. Let me see if there are any other approaches. Just but or else I do not want to confuse. I guess this is an approach which is very intuitive and which is easily understandable and clear. So let's leave it up to it, and then let's and then this one. What's the runtime of this one? So runtime of this solution. So runtime could be worse actually, because on an average it could be O of n, but for each character if we keep looping through, it could go to O of n square. Like for example, let's say if it's a 100 length if it's a like something like like some weird length character, and then if this one is a something like we so now from A we need to traverse so many characters, from B also we need to traverse so many characters, or let's say if this is like a same characters. Okay, from every character we keep iterating through. From this character also we keep iterating through the center. From this character also we iterate through all the characters before and after. From every character, every single character, we are iterating through all the characters because they are equal. So that would make it O of n square in the worst case. So if not, for the evenly distributed, like distinct enough characters, it would be an average of O of n. So if the characters are different, if there are same characters, it may lead to O of n square. So that's about it. Let's yeah, let's move on to the next question then. Longest palindromic substring is over. Longest substring without repeating characters. Okay, longest substring. these are the most difficult problems for me in the lead code. And like every time I go to an interview, I just hope that these questions are not asked for me, because these require preparation. It's hard to like come up with the approach on the spot for these problems for me. But for other problems, while using data structure or while using some other coding solutions or things like that, we can come up with some approach or some workable approach on the spot. So these are the questions which we need some knowledge beforehand. So let me enter this problem into my list. Okay, it's done. So given a string s. Okay, and are there any questions? Let me look into the chat as well. Okay, no questions. So everybody understood what's going on. That is awesome. And is anybody in the stream? I see some viewers in the stream, but it looks very quiet out now. Were you able to understand the approach for that problem? Okay. I don't hear anybody. Okay, let's think about the this problem. Let's read this problem first. Find the, like, given a string s, find the length of the longest substring without duplicate characters. So in this one, ABC doesn't have any duplicates. ABCA would have duplicates, but BCA doesn't have any duplicates. Okay, so this one, I think I vaguely remember we can use something like a sliding window instead of coming up with each of the substrings and then checking if that has the distinct characters or not. That would be like brute force approach, but very tedious and time consuming. So if we use a sliding window, then what we can do? Uh, we can just keep creating. Uh, okay, I just have A. Let me add. Let me take this in the whiteboard. So in the whiteboard here. Yeah. Okay. And I have this character. Okay. Now let's say I'm traversing through this string one by one. So the first character is A. Okay. And then I have, let's keep the start of the index, start of the substring is equal to 0, and then end of the substring is equal to 0 for now. So now start is equal to end. So I mean, I do not have to, or else I can start with start is equal to 0 and end is equal to 1, and we can keep track. Um, so this is 0 and this is 1. If they are both of them are equal, or both of them are the same characters, then I can just increment the start by 1, and yeah, and then I can increment the end also by 1. So but in this case both are not equal actually. So let's keep it as it is, 0 and 1. and then they both are not equal. So what I'll do, and I need to keep track of the characters also. So A on the left, B on the right. A comma B, and then next character we get is C, which is not in this array, or we can take something like a hash set in order to check the if the character already exists in this set. So the character doesn't exist, C doesn't exist, so I can make it as 2, end as 2, and I can add another character to this one, C, and then I come across this one, end is 3, I incremented the end by 1, and then the character at that index A is already there in this set. So what I need to do, I cannot consider that as the longest substring without repeating characters, A, B, C, A. So that in that case, I'll increment the left by or start by 1. So like not start by 1, I need to increment the start until I find the character at the end. So that would be the right approach. Until I find the character at the end, I'll keep incrementing the start. So now in this case, I just found it here only. So I just incremented it once. Like I found it here only, then I didn't have to remove, or yeah, because I have to add it anyway for this one. So I think it's better if I keep removing, because if it is not found in the first character only, let's say this was A and this was A, then I should have kept incrementing it until here. So I should have removed B and I should have removed whatever the character here also. So I should keep removing it, and then I should add this one here. So order anyway doesn't matter in a hash set. So let's assume I came to A, I removed it, and then B and C remained, and then for the end I added A again. Okay, so then now I came across B again. So for B, and my start is 1. So again, luckily we found B there only, and then I removed B, like until I found that character. uh, I navigated in the string, I removed B from here, and then added B again, and then my this one become, my end became 5. End was 5 at B, and end became 6 now, which is C. Again I need to remove C also, and then add back C. So that's the same effect, and then I'll make it as 7. So B came. So now I need to, my start is at 2, I guess, or 3. Sorry, 2. It was at 2. Yeah. And then end is at 6, not 7. It is at 6. And then I need to remove C. I removed C and then added C. It remained with ABC. Okay. And now I came to this end at 7, and end at 7, which is this one. And then my start is at 2, but I know that this already contains, my hash set contains this character B. So I need to move until the character B is found. So this doesn't contain the character, but still I need to remove this one. I need to remove this A from the set. And then the next character I go B. I need to remove this B. And then I'll just add the seventh character, which is B again. So I added B. So now I have just CB as the substring. And the next character is B. So until I find B again, I'll have to remove. And here the start had become 5 already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 already. And now the sixth one came, and then I had to remove this one. Yeah, yeah. I think you got this one. Got the approach here. Let's let's look into the code of, look into the implementation of the same thing. So let's get to the LeetCode. So here, yeah. So what all things we need? One thing is we need a set for sure. So set of integers here, or set of characters here. So character and current window, basically it signifies the current window. So we are taking it as hash set, which should make it easy for the comparison. Int start is equal to 0 and int max length is equal to 0 for now. If we have this thing, let's iterate through each characters in the string. I is equal to 0, I less than s dot length, then I plus plus. If this is the case, next what should we do? Uh, so now in this case, um, I'm iterating through each character, and then okay, while first thing is while set dot our current window dot contains s dot character at I. I need to keep incrementing it and removing it. I need to keep incrementing the left or the start plus plus, and then I need to remove it from the current window. Current window dot remove s dot char at. Okay, so I'm keep moving forward, like as long as mm, I find that same character in the set. So I'll keep removing that s dot character at left, and then once the left is set, I mean start. Yeah, once the start is set, I'll I'll have to add the next character to the current window because I have already removed it. If it is found, current window dot add. What should I add there? Current window dot add s dot character at I. So once that is done, if I add the character at I can figure out the maximum length. Max length is equal to math.max of current window size and max window size, or max length. And current window size is determined by last time we calculated it again in that maximum uh, this maximum subsequence. So we do not have a right here. We have I minus left minus 1. So I minus left should be plus 1 because doesn't it doesn't include the ith character here. When I do I minus left, it will just calculate the difference. So I should do the plus 1 to make it inclusive. And then I can return just max length. So here, let's see. Let's take an example. AB. Okay, let's take this example only. Okay, and then what all things we need to keep track of? We have a start. Start is equal to 0. Max length. Max length is equal to 0. I hope it's visible. Whatever I'm typing. Yeah. So max length is equal to 0. And here let's come across current window set. This is a hash set. So I'll represent this one also like this. Okay. Hash set doesn't have anything. Now I came, try to iterate. I is equal to 0, I less than s dot length. Again, yeah, s dot length, I plus plus. Current window dot contains, it should be, contains s dot caret I. Until that contains the s dot caret I need to keep removing it. Otherwise, I'm adding current dot window dot add current character. Current character here is, in this case, is a, and I'll keep track of now. I is equal to 0. I added a here, and then max length is max dot max of max length, or I minus left plus 1. So I minus left plus 1. I is 0. I minus left is nothing but start. I minus start, which is 0 minus 0 plus 1, which is 1. So max length became 1. And then, okay, current window I have already updated. I will become 1 at this point. So now current character is b here. So while current window dot contains s dot character at I, current window does not contain this, so it will come out. Current window dot add this character. So I just added b, and then max length is equal to I minus start plus 1. I is 1, 1 minus 0, 1 plus 1, 2. So max length became 2, and then current character is c. So I is equal to 2. I would become 2. So current character is c. So c is not contained in this one, in the window. So I'll just add c to the window, and then current window, and then max length will become 3. Max length became 3, and then I would be incremented to 3. I would be incremented to 3 that contains a, and then here this line satisfies current window dot contains s dot character at I. So I'll remove that from the current window. Okay, removed it, and then start plus plus. Instead of I'll modify the start also. So start would become 1, and then max length would be max dot max of this one. So that would remain as 3, and I would become 4. I would become 4 means b. Again, I'll do the same thing. I'll current window contains, so, and I needed to add this one, current window dot add a, the previous character, and then I came to b. So I need to remove that b from the current window based on this. So remove it, and then um, start plus plus. So start would become 2, and then here current window dot add current character, which is b. Again, I added b, this b, which is I is equal to 4. So this b, and then I determine the max length of the character is, again, I is 4, start is 2, 4 minus 2, 2, 2 plus 1, 3. It would remain as 3, and now I would become 5, which is this c. Again, we will do the same thing, current window dot contains c. So I'll remove that c and increment the start by 1, which is 3, which will become 3, and now it does not contain any c. So I'll come out and current window dot add the current character, which is c. I added c, and then max length would become, again, I is 5, start is 3, 5 minus 3, 2, 2 plus 1, 3. It would remain as 3, and next character is, next I is 6, sixth character, which is b. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is c. 5, 6. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5. Okay, this will be b. Current character will be b. So now it will say, until remove b, just keep going. Current window dot remove s dot character at start. S dot character at start is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is a. Character at start is a. So it will remove a also first, and then increment start by 1. So start would become 4, and then it will see current window dot contains s dot character, right? It still contains uh, b, and then it will remove that b also, which is which is the which is the current window dot remove s dot caret start. Caret start is b, it will remove B also and increment start, which will become 5. So now in this case, current window dot add s dot caret I. I is 6, so I'll add B, this B here. So it will remain it only 2 of those. So once that is done, I'll determine math.max is not much. It will be 2 this time. I is 6, 6 minus 5, 1, 1 plus 1, 2. So max length would remain same. And then the last one coming to the I will become 7, which is the last B. So now I'm checking while the current window dot current contains s dot caret I, it contains B. So I should remove the start character at start um, from the set. So character at start is 5, so which is C. So I'll remove C from this one, and then it will say, okay, it still contain Windows still contains the character at I, which is B. So I will remove that B also, and start will be updated as 6. Yeah, and and nothing current window dot add. I will add B again, and max length would remain the same thing. 7 minus 6, 1, 1 plus 1, 2. I think it is, I'm not sure if this became 7 or 6. So yeah, but yeah, no change for this logic, and it will remain as B, and I'm done with the loop. I will just return the max length, which is 3. That should be it. Let's run this one and check if we have missed any scenarios. Okay, looks like it is working for all the basic scenarios. B, 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 okay. And this character, yeah, EW do WKD W3. So here WK is the longest one. So that's the only for KEW. Yeah, so that worked. Let's submit this and see. Okay, awesome. So this one worked. So that is good. For this also, runtime wise, what are we doing? I'm just checking. I'm just going through each of the character maximum 2 times. Right, uh, right can go once and left can go once. That's the only thing. So our runtime complexity is open for this one. So that's the best anybody could do. So yeah, that should be it. Let's go to the next character. Before that, let's take a quick short break, like less than 5 minutes, and then we can come back. Okay, now 5 are watching. Please do comment. Like, I don't see any interactions. Are you guys getting? Are you guys understanding uh, the way I'm explaining the problem? Let me know if you have any feedback, and let me know if you have any requests that a specific problem from line 75 you need to solve, or if you have any questions about the problems that we already solved in the session. I'm okay to solve it. And until I come back, please look into the previous steps that we followed. I'll be back in 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes. I would have shared one of the solution before that. Yeah, whatever we solved, maybe this longest substring characters only.